Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the KetoMOM page. My name is Stephanie. And my husband is back. We're trying to squeeze into the camera. I don't know why it got so awkward.
Did I get bigger while I was gone?
No.
Probably your strength training.
I'm pretty sure it's my CrossFit training.
That's true.
My shoulders got stronger.
It's true.
All right. As you're tuning in, we are diving into Chazown, the book that we've been going through since the beginning of the month. We are talking about finding your Chazown, finding your purpose. What has God called you to do? We're kind of wrapping up a couple things that he talked about today so that you can figure out what your calling is, so that you can go after it, not just sit on the sidelines of life and wait for life to happen.
It's powerful stuff.
So, as you're tuning in, we are tuning in from Minnesota. We live on a lake, so I'm looking outside at our lake, and we are really blessed with some incredible large birds flying all over the place.
Absolutely fascinated.
He just keeps looking at all the birds. I'm like, babe, they've been out there for weeks.
We've always had 2 eagles that have flown around, but now we have 2 more, and I don't know what they are.
They're massive.
They're bigger than the eagles.
They're eating all our fish.
But they look like an eagle, but they're spotted. So probably a hawk. I'm going to do some research today. That's going to be my science class, is to figure out what birds are flying around outside. But it's so cool because they keep diving into the water. And then I just think to myself, I'm envisioning the day where they like me so much that I have it.
Land on his shoulder.
I've always wanted a big parrot. So I thought, parrot, like a big macaw. How many of you out there like birds? I don't know if I want it living in the house, but I thought, how cool would it be?
Maybe somebody has a pet bird.
If it were actually my friend and the eagle sat on my shoulder. Hey.
Or takes one of our baby dogs away.
No, it doesn't want the dog.
All right, so where are you tuning in from?
I might hijack this live and run out there with the camera and show you.
It's really cool. So here's what we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to recap all of it. If you have the book, awesome. If you don't have the book, we're starting on...
If you get the audiobook?
We're starting on page 63. It's a really great book. So we've been talking about your core values, your spiritual gifts. Yesterday we talked about your past experiences, good and bad.
That's great.
Which makes up your Chazown. Your Chazown is what you're called to do. Your Chazown is the Hebrew word for the dreams, revelations, or visions God was thinking about when he made you. You're one of a kind, placed on the earth with a plan that's yours and only yours. God isn't hiding it, but you have to find it. You've got to figure out what it is. So let me put this together and then you can chime in.
All right.
All right, so here is where we're at. How do you discover God's Chazown for your life? We've looked at core values, spiritual gifts, past experiences. How do all 3 of these areas relate to each other? He says, bring in your core 3 circles. I'm going to show you in a second. God gave you all of these things, and God gave you gifts and talents that will show you what your Chazown is. So this is what he says to do.
All right.
You write down your spiritual gifts. You've got a circle, right? You've got your experiences, your past experiences, and your core values. And he said, if you lay them over the top of each other, you will find your Chazown, what you're called to do, something that you are passionate about. He's going to give you some questions to answer. He says, God has a divine destination for your life.
How cool is that, though?
It is cool.
I mean, because so many people are just wandering. That's because I'm thinking about you. So many people are typically wandering, or they have the same patterns. They wake up from the same side of the bed. They do the same routine in the morning. They go to the same job, talk to the same people, and then come home, eat the same food so they can sit in front of the same TV to watch the same shows, then to go to bed, and then to do it all over again.
I think all the while knowing that you're called for something, but you're stuck in this rhythm of life because you're either too afraid, it's the unknown, it takes hard work to do something that you really are passionate about.
For sure. So I'd be curious in the chat thread, I would love to have you just type down below in the comments, just maybe what are some things that you think like can either get you in a rut, or what would be some of the things that you feel like can hold people back from stepping into their greatness? What would be some of those things? And then also if you're brand new here and you're like, I don't really know exactly what they're talking about, but this sounds awesome, I would encourage you to go to KetoMOM Secrets and you can check out some of the past episodes, or just go on Facebook and you can watch some of the past lives, because Stephanie's done a really phenomenal job kind of walking people through these simple steps. I say they're simple because you just have to do the action. Right.
So if you go to ketomomsecrets.com, we have all of the blog posts up there. We have all of the past videos up there. We have every recipe that you need on the blog, right? Some people are here and they're like, just tell me what to eat. That's awesome. I do that in the afternoons. But if you really are searching for something that's going to change your life, the 50 pounds of fat loss will help you feel more confident and feel better, but it's going to be working on your mindset and truly understanding what you're called to do that will bring you peace and joy in your life.
That's so good.
The 50 pounds of fat loss is it's just going to help you feel good. Actually, this is actually really great. Here's what Pastor Craig has you do. He says, once you have your core values, your spiritual gifts, and once you have your past experiences all written down, we're going to work on writing one sentence, not a book, not a paragraph, not a whole bunch of different things. One sentence. He says it's one person, one sentence, one Chazown, something that you are called to do. He gives you examples. He says he had people write down their Chazown, their dream. I'll give you an example. Here's a one sentence from one of his friends. I have a dream to disciple 1,000 women. So clearly she has a passion for women and helping them probably in any area of their life, right? Here's another example. I have a dream of being part of God's developing new and effective ways of planting churches in the 21st century. That's another one. I have a dream to write a series of children's books to help make bedtime a lasting memory.
That's cool.
That's somebody's Chazown. It's what they're called to do. I have a dream that involves reaching millions of youth and connecting their hearts with the heart of Christ to reach future generations.
It's powerful.
That's a Chazown. Do you remember what ours was when we first did this? I wrote it down.
Help families live healthy, faith-filled lives.
Yeah.
I have a dream to help families live healthy, faith-filled lives.
So this was something that we wrote down. Well, we've been married 17 years. I think we did it probably 15 years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
We did this book together, newly married, and I wrote down helping. So I kind of changed it a little bit. It says helping as many people as we can live healthy, faith-filled lives. That's what was our one sentence. We took our core values, we took our spiritual gifts, we took experiences and past experiences, and that's what we came up with. And that was even before the KetoMOM page. That was before we really helped anybody with their health and fitness. That was just something we were passionate about. We want to help families live healthy, faith-filled lives, healthy on the physical aspect of what we're doing, and spiritual and emotional on the brain part of it. And I was thinking today, I was like, we're doing that. We're doing what we wrote down 15 years ago.
So it seems like the two areas we haven't necessarily attached to our mission would be around the financial side,
right,
and the relational side.
Right. So for looking at your Chazown, that's what we're going to dive into here in the next couple of days is those things.
So we may have to
we're going to have to tweak ours a little bit. I think after 15 years, we've realized, which is great, and it can change. We're going to add on to ours, but it's a sentence. You're adding on to your sentence.
You know what I think is beautiful is I think so often people are afraid of change, but change is the one thing that can honestly take you to the next level, to what you're created to do.
Right.
Has this been helpful? If this is helpful, I'd love to see some hearts. I'd love to hear some comments, because the reality is sometimes this is a deeper subject where I know most people come here because they want deep fried zucchini rolls.
Airy.
They want the pictures of all the pepperoni pizzas with the close-up camera angles.
I did do that yesterday.
I mean, the reality is I know what stuff the internet loves.
We know what stuff attracts people, and we know what stuff actually people need.
I was having a really great conversation with my friend on the airplane flying back home from Tennessee and North Carolina. son yesterday, and we were just chatting because on his page, he's an amazing dude, but he feeds people that information. It's all about like the food and the desserts and all of the close-up pictures. And it works. Like, it attracts people to that stuff. And we've done that for 7 years. I mean, we're going on 7 years this page has been around. And don't get me wrong, like, flashy, fun desserts are cool. And close-up pictures of pepperoni rolls rolled up in pork rinds are awesome. But the reality is, if your mindset is not right,
it's not going to change your life.
It's not going to change your life. And so we've made a shift. And so this may come across as like, oh, this isn't the coolest, flashy thing. But we've come to realize, like, this is the stuff that's really helped us. And we truly do believe that this is the stuff that's going to help level up your life.
This will change your life.
When you're thinking and your thoughts, they create emotions in your body.
Right.
And when those emotions are positive and they're filled with love and they give you energy to go out and change the world, that's when your life changes. Change your energy, change your life. This is the kind of information that I truly do believe at our core. This is the stuff. That's why we do it.
Right.
This is the reason. And so here's what's really cool is we appreciate you tuning in, and we also appreciate you tagging friends who you believe need to hear this as well, because it's so much better when you get to do this as a community. And also it just means a lot to us when you share this content as well, because it helps reach more people to get this kind of information.
I love that. I love that.
Thanks.
We are better together. He really does put great words into the things I'm thinking. I usually am like sporadic. He's super thought out. He's super mindful. All right. So here is, it says closing in on your Chazown, closing in on your one sentence. It says, here's some questions for you. What have I always cared about? What values seem to define my very own?
Hold on, can you say that one more time?
Okay. What values seem to define my very core? Sorry.
I was going to say, okay, so what values define your core? Like, what are the values that define who you are at the core of who you are?
So like Pastor Craig said, his values are, so for example, some people might be like, I don't know what those are. Like integrity, excellence, family,
so integrity
stewardship.
Means to make whole. It's to be the person who you say, your actions align with your words.
Right. I would say on that list, integrity is one of our values. Excellence is one of our values.
I love excellence because I truly believe excellence honors God and it actually inspires people.
Don't mishear us by saying perfection.
There's a big difference.
Huge difference. Doing things with excellence is doing things with everything that you can, all of your heart, doing it to the best of your ability.
But also not messing up good for perfect.
Right.
Because in the pursuit or the thought of excellence, it can also paralyze people from ever taking action.
Right.
So that's not what we're saying. We're saying when you have the faith to step out and to do that thing that you're called to do, or to encourage that person, or to go start that book, or to go whatever that is, it's stepping out with full ability to give it your best, and then just being thankful for the result in which where it ends.
Right. I love that.
Or where it begins.
Another core value is family. I would say that's ours as well. Yeah, he says stewardship. That's your word for the year.
Yes.
Do you guys have a word for the year? Mine went from something else. I changed it to excellence after it used to be trust. That was in the beginning of the year. I felt like I conquered that. My word, I had something I was dealing with.
Yeah, and she conquered it and you grew.
Yeah. So my word changed to excellence. Your word is stewardship for the year. Why do you think
I like stewardship?
Well, because here's one of my favorite sayings or quotes. I don't know who said it. Actually, it's in the Bible. To whom much is given, much is expected. It's important to steward the things that you're gifted. And if you want more doesn't have to mean material things, but if you want more abundance, more health, more vitality, more anything, you have to use the things you already have well.
So good.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're not using the things you already have well, why in the world would you be blessed with more?
Right. It's easy to turn that thought or that philosophy into like, it's all about the money. It's not the case. Like, just because you have more money doesn't make you happy.
Correct.
So when we talk about stewardship, it's how are you stewarding your body, right? How are you stewarding your time? How are you stewarding your resources?
Right.
How are you stewarding your environments, your relationships? All of these things matter.
Right. He had 2 more. I'm just giving you examples of core values. He had generosity and evangelism. I actually feel like we probably align 100% of Pastor Craig's.
So that's,
but we also have
honestly,
kind of a same vision.
When I first heard him speak, it's coming up on 17 years now. Basically right after we got married. It was
you
right
found
after
Pastor Craig.
I did, because of a crazy series that he was doing, and it caught my attention,
right.
And I zoned in on it. But the reality is, like, I knew at the moment when I first heard this man speak, I knew that there was something special about him. And ever since then, I mean, our family's been walking in alignment with Pastor Craig.
Right. 100%. All right, here's another question for you. What have I always seemed especially gifted to do? You have to answer this for you.
Oh, I got to give a shout out to Craig, because if you're not following him, go check out his post from a couple days ago on Instagram. But it's his fitness. He just shows some fitness routines, but the message behind the shots are extremely powerful.
So good.
Powerful. I mean, the message is powerful, but then you look at the image, the video that he just recorded of himself working out, and I'm like, man, here is a dude that's focused. You want to know excellence? Craig Rochelle. Why? Because he has stewarded his resources. He's stewarded his gifts. He's exactly what he talks about.
100%.
He sticks to his healthy routine, and man,
we used to live
inspiration
right by them. Steve worked at the church with them right down the hall from Pastor Craig. And I remember him saying, sometimes when you get to the core of leadership, you sometimes see yuck, depending on where you work. It just kind of can get interesting. And I remember Steve coming home one day from the church and he said, I've never seen a leadership so aligned and so focused and so on point. He's like, it's powerful. It's so powerful when you get to the core of even that church. It's unbelievable.
That's pretty amazing.
So, okay, here's another question. What has my past experiences, both good and bad, shown me about myself? So he's just asking you questions to get you to think about this right here. Your Chazown.
They probably can't see. You gotta shove it way up there. Right in that circle.
Right in the middle.
So a lot of people can also be...
I have questions for them to write down.
They can also be held back because of their past.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday.
Past is the past.
Yeah.
Break free and win. So, I mean... I would encourage you to look at life happening to you and for you and figure out a way to work through it.
Right.
I mean, and if you can get your mindset to a place to where you can overcome that, I'm just telling you, like, your testimony is powerful. Your story is powerful.
People need to hear it. So here's 2 questions if you want to write them down to help you create your one sentence, your Chazown. What you feel like you're called to do, even if it's scary, even if people said that you will never, even if you're like, if I share this with people, they're going to laugh at me. It doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Find my book around here.
If money were not an object and I could do anything I wanted for the rest of my life, what would it be? There's question number 1. You can share below if you want. Number 2, besides loving, caring for those and ministering to those who are most important to me. So like moms might be like, but I'm a mom. Or like God's given you a passion. Like I am hands down a wife and a mom, and God has given me a passion just to help other people with their health and their fitness, with their faith, with their, we'll talk more about physical, financial, relational. But what is the number 1 thing that I believe God wants to accomplish through me? What is the number 1 thing that you believe that God wants to accomplish through you? I want you to try to get it written down. He said in one sentence. The only thing I was going to say, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I don't know if any guys are checking this out because a lot of this community is for females, but I'm going to be this is going to be super cool. So if you want to fly in for this, if you want to join us, I got a group of guys that in the middle. So we don't really live on a lake. It's an old rock quarry. It's rather large. So it's not a pool and it's definitely not a pond, but it's also not like Lake Superior. So it's somewhere in between.
It's a 40-acre rock quarry that was filled in. So it's like a lake, but it's deep.
But just past the eagles that I can see, I see an island that's about an acre in size.
Steve's going to do a men's event.
I've got a 30-foot
You have to sleep on an island.
And I'm going to create a Warriors Men Night. It's going to be an all-out man's night. We're going to have this. I've got a massive bonfire that I've been building for like a year out there. It's got 4 pontoon loads of wood.
Warriors.
That's sitting out there. And I'm just super, super excited because coming very soon. So if you want to be a part of this, reach out to us. because
only men.
Yes, this is an all-out man.
You're going to do something so cool.
For the ladies who are tuning in, guess what? You can hang out with Stephanie. How's that sound? So it's going to be super cool. I've got it. It's all up here. I'm moving it into here, and it's about to be
You're not coming off the island until you're done.
We're going to break through some stuff.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It's going to be awesome. So if you're tuning in, because I see there's people on here, both new and a lot of great names that I've seen for a long time. If you're like, man, I want my husband to be a part of that. This sounds super crazy, but let's get resourceful. Let's figure something out, and let's
when are you going to do
the
it?
men
June?
to the island. It's happening very soon.
It needs to be warm out.
It's going to be, it's got to be at least 70. So it's coming very soon.
Remember, we live in Minnesota.
Let's say June. It's going to happen in June. So, don't have the exact date, but it's going to be a Friday night in June. That now limits me to a couple of weeks. It's going to happen. So, if you want more information, reach out to Stephanie.
Yes, to figure it out. All right, I've got a couple more things for you. Remember, God's vision for you is bigger than you can imagine and impossible for you to do on your own. The truth is, you can't. God will call you to do something that you cannot do on your own, so that you will have to take a step of faith in order to into the unknown. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. So, what is it? It says, give yourself permission to dream. You need to have a one sentence, core values, spiritual gifts, past experiences. What if money wasn't an object? What would you do? If it was that one burning desire in your heart, what would you do? Write it down. It doesn't have to be a perfectly written sentence, like a one-liner. What would you do? What do you feel like God has called you to do? That is the basis of this entire book. Because out of that, it's going to give you some freedom of like, you'll start seeing opportunities and doors open for you to either walk through, or if you don't, they'll close. You will start having more of like an excitement for life because you're not doing the same thing over and over again. You've all of a sudden shifted your focus. It will help you feel better, make better choices because you're chasing after something that you're truly called to do, right? All of these things will align because your excitement and your passion, and you're going to start making those, even if it's just fat loss, right? You get up. You're excited for something new in your life. You realize your calling, and all of a sudden you're presented with not the best choice of food, but you were so excited, your mindset has shifted that you're like, I'm not going to do that because I'm focused. Does that make sense?
So powerful.
Like, I'm excited to dive into this next this next series, part in this book, because it's kind of what you were talking about, the spokes, right?
Ooh, I like it. Some people are posting some of the things that they'd love to do.
This right here. This is what we're going to be diving into. Your wheel, your God wheel, your God spoke, people, finances, health, and work, all of these things that make you you. It's a part of you. It affects every single day part of your life and your day. And if one of them is broken, it affects all of the other ones. So we're not quite there yet, but we're almost. All right, that's all I have. What do you want to say?
Good. I would just encourage you, put a smile on your face, take a deep breath, and get a vision for your life.
Yeah.
Get a vision for your day. Own this moment. If you're watching this right now, there's a reason why you're here. And we want to encourage you. We want to encourage you to step into your greatness. We want to encourage you that there's more in life. It doesn't have to be the same patterns. If things are going great, guess what? Congratulations.
You're on the right track.
Things can get even better. You can help more people. You can serve more people. You can make more money to give more money away, to go help more people. It's so funny because I hear people say, I really want to help people. How do you help people? With your time and with your money. And most people just don't have either one. So guess what? Let's create some new habits to create some margin in our life to be able to make more money, or to create more time to be able to help more people. Because at the end of the day, each and every one of you, you have a special gift, a special calling, like you were created by greatness for great things to go out and make it happen. So let today be that day.
Yes. I love it. One-liner. Ours was 15 years ago, helping families live healthy, faith-filled lives. We are going to add on to it, our sentence, to make it more circle filled. We're going to add on.
I like
We're going to rethink ours and we'll share it with you when we're done. So that's all we have for today. Again,
this was helpful. If this was helpful, share it with a friend. If this was helpful, hit the share button, because what do you say? Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
And if you want more information, also go to KetoMOM Secrets. Why? Because that website is pretty remarkable. It's got so much great information. That's what I would encourage you to go do right now.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later today. I'll pop on later and do some fun keto stuff.